"Your work is garbage," she said, her voice loud and sharp like a slap. Then she leaned over and hit delete. My screen went blank. Everything I worked on for a whole year. Gone. In front of everyone. And all I could do was stare. Then, my phone rang. "Hi, my name is Zoe Miller. I'm 26 years old, and I used to think being quiet, loyal, and hardworking would protect me. I was wrong. I worked at a big company called Bright North. We made marketing ideas for other companies, big ones, clothing brands, food stores, even a car company once. I worked there for 3 years. But in my 3rd year, something changed. The company was dying. Sales were down, clients were leaving, everyone was scared. But me? I saw an idea, a spark. I stayed late almost every day. I brought my own snacks, wore the same shoes for 2 years, and never asked for a raise. I just wanted to fix the company. And slowly, I did. I built something new, a campaign, something big, colorful, different. I called it Light Up. It was full of stories, videos, and real-life people. I spent 12 months building it. I barely went home. I missed weddings. I skipped birthdays. I worked even on Christmas. All for this. But there was one person who didn't like me. Her name was Marcy, my supervisor. Tall, always wore heels that clicked on the floor like knives, red lipstick every day, hair always perfect, voice always cold. She never liked me, not because I was rude, but because I was better at the job. And she knew it. She once told me, "You think being quiet makes you smart? Let me remind you, you're under me." I just nodded and went back to work. I knew she was angry. She wanted to be the one to save the company. But she didn't have a plan. I did. When it was finally time to show the project, I dressed in my best white shirt and long black skirt. I was so nervous I almost threw up in the bathroom before the meeting. Everyone sat in the meeting room. My heart was beating louder. I thought they could hear it. I walked up, plugged in my laptop, and started showing them Light Up. The room was quiet. People leaned forward. One man nodded. A woman smiled. My slides were working. My videos made them laugh. My plan made sense. When I finished, someone even clapped. Then a few others clapped. And for a small moment, I smiled. Then I saw Marcy stand. She didn't clap. She didn't smile. She walked slowly to where I was sitting. Everyone watched her. And now they were offering me something Marcy never would: respect. "I accept," I said softly, then louder. "I accept the offer." He smiled through the phone. I could feel it. "Welcome to Vibe Tech, Zoe. We'll send everything to your email right away." I hung up. Then I walked back into the room. My steps were slow, calm, but inside me, there was fire. Marcy was sitting with her legs crossed, sipping her coffee like a queen. She didn't even look up. I cleared my throat. Everyone turned. "Actually," I said, "I won't be starting over." Marcy finally looked up. "Excuse me?" I smiled, small but sharp. "I just got a call. I've been offered a new position. $500,000 salary, my own team, full creative control." The room went quiet. Someone dropped their pen. I walked to my desk, picked up my notebook, and slid my bag over my shoulder. Effective immediately, I added. Marcy stood up, knocking her chair back. You're kidding. You're bluffing. I turned to her, looked her right in the eye, and said, I don't bluff. She looked pale. She stepped closer. Zoe, you can't just walk out. You have a job here. I looked at the screen where my work used to be. No, Marcy, you had me here. And I walked out. People followed me with their eyes. A few looked at each other like they couldn't believe it. One even smiled and nodded at me. Marcy stood frozen behind me. I stepped outside. The sun hit my face, and for the first time in a year, I breathed. That night, I couldn't sleep. Not from fear, but from excitement. I kept thinking, they chose me. All those nights I cried in the bathroom, all the times I kept quiet when Marcy insulted me, all the hours I spent building Light up while others went home. Now it was my time. I got the welcome email from Vibe Tech right before midnight. It had my title, Creative Director. It had my start date, immediately. And it had my own office. I read the email 3 times before I believed it. Then I did something I hadn't done in years. I smiled so big, I laughed. The next morning, I showed up at Vibe Tech's building. It was tall, bright, full of glass and plants and people smiling. A woman at the front desk greeted me with a warm, "Welcome, Miss Miller." They gave me a badge, a laptop, and a tour. Then they opened the door to my new office. It had a window, a whiteboard, my name on the door, and a team of 4 waiting inside to meet me. Each person smiled and shook my hand. One of them said, "We've been hearing about you." I almost cried, not because I was sad, but because finally someone saw me. I sat down, opened my laptop, and clicked on a folder labeled Start Here. Inside was a note. Zoe, feel free to build anything you want. We trust you. I stared at those words for a long time. They trust me. So I opened a new blank slide, and I wrote, "Welcome to Light Up 2.0. It was time to rebuild the project Marcy tried to kill, but this time with no one standing in my way. The first thing I did in my new office was draw a sun on the whiteboard, big and yellow. Then I wrote one word inside it, Light Up. My team looked curious, so I stood up and said, "This is going to be the brightest, boldest, realest campaign this company has ever seen." They leaned in. They were listening. No one was rolling their eyes. No one was waiting to tear me down. I was the leader now. For the next 3 weeks, I worked harder than I ever had. But it didn't feel heavy. It felt like flying. My team was amazing. Kayla was great with colors, Ben wrote funny lines, Nia handled numbers like magic, and Marcus could edit videos like a movie director. Every morning, we drank tea and shared stories. Every afternoon, we built things, slides, ideas, ads, jokes. Every night, I went home smiling. No yelling, no insults, no one deleting my work. I was finally free to shine. We called the campaign Light Up 2.0. It was about helping people see the light in simple things: family, food, friends, fun. Real people, real stories. No fake smiles, just color, laughter, and heart. We made videos of parents playing in the park, teenagers hugging their grandparents, chefs dancing while cooking, even a cat playing the piano. Yes, we really filmed that. And in each one, we added a message. You bring the light, we make it brighter. The company loved it. The CEO sent me an email that said, "Zoe, this is gold." I smiled so wide my cheeks hurt. But deep down, I knew what this moment really meant. It meant Marcy lost. The night before we launched the campaign, I stayed in the office late. The lights were off, just a small lamp on my desk. I played the videos again, one by one. Each one felt like a piece of me. I remembered how Marcy called it garbage, how she hit delete, how she laughed. But now, those same ideas were about to hit the world. Not in some tiny post, not in a private room, but everywhere. Launch day. My hands were cold. I was nervous. Even with all the praise and planning, I was scared. What if people didn't like it? What if Marcy was right? I closed my eyes and whispered, "Please let this matter. Just once, let my work matter." Then I hit post, and the world saw Light Up 2.0. At first, there was silence. Then it started. 1 share, 10 shares, 100. Then a comment. This made me cry. Another, "I sent this to my mom." Then, "Who made this? I'm obsessed." In 2 hours, it had 1 million views. By the end of the day, 5 million. People were stitching the videos, remaking them, laughing, crying, sharing. The brand's website crashed from too much traffic. Sales tripled in 1 day. The CEO called me and shouted with joy, "Zoe, we've never had numbers like this. You did it." I sat down slowly. I wanted to scream, cry, laugh, but mostly I felt peace. They saw me. They chose me, and I proved I was worth it. I opened my inbox. Hundreds of emails. Brands wanted to work with me. News reporters wanted interviews. But one name caught my eye. Marcy.wilson@brightnorth.com. My heart stopped. I opened it. Her message was short. Subject: Hello, Zoe. Hi. I saw your campaign. It's incredible. I didn't know you had that in you. If you're open to talking, I'd love to reconnect. Maybe even work together again. Marcy. I sat back in my chair. I stared at the screen. And I didn't even feel angry. I felt nothing. She wanted to reconnect? Now? After deleting me? After calling my work garbage? No. She didn't want me. She wanted my success. I closed the email. No reply. Instead, I opened a new email. I wrote to Sasha, the quiet intern at Bright North, the only one who ever smiled at me. I offered her a job on my team, with double her old pay. She replied in all caps, "Yes, I'm crying. Thank you." I smiled. This was how you change a story. Not by yelling, not by revenge, but by rising. 2 weeks after the campaign launched, we had more than 20 million views. Our company's sales went through the roof. Everyone was talking about Light Up 2.0. Even celebrities posted. One wrote, "This campaign feels like a warm hug. Whoever made this deserves a trophy." And the world started asking, who's Zoe Miller? Me. The quiet girl, the one who was called trash, the one who built alone for a year and got deleted. Now, I was everywhere. Then came the news I didn't expect, but should have. Marcy got fired. One of my old coworkers, Sarah, messaged me. "Hey Zoe, just wanted you to know, Marcy's gone, fired this morning. Bright North lost 3 major clients after your campaign dropped. The board said her behavior cost the company big time. I stared at the message, and for the first time in a long time, I laughed. Not because I hated her, but because the truth had finally caught up. She thought she was untouchable, that no one would ever call her out, that she could crush people like me and still shine. But she was wrong. You can't delete someone's soul and expect your hands to stay clean. 3 days later, I got another email from Marcy. Longer this time. Subject, I'm sorry. Zoe, I know I don't deserve a reply, but I've been thinking about what I did. I was jealous. I saw your talent, and instead of lifting you, I tried to block you. I thought if I erased your work, I could stay in control. But now I see you were never trying to take my place. You were just trying to shine, and I stopped you. I've lost my job, my team, my reputation, but more than anything, I lost your respect. If you ever want to talk, I'll be here. Marcy. I stared at her words for a long time. Then I closed the email. No reply? Not out of hate, but out of peace. I didn't need to say anything. Life had already spoken for me. That week, I had an idea. I remembered how it felt to be silenced, ignored, looked down on. So I started something new at my job. I called it Bright Voices. It was a space for quiet people, interns, juniors, even assistants, to pitch their ideas every Friday. No bosses, no pressure, just support. And the first girl who stood up to speak was Sasha, the intern I had hired from Bright North. She was so scared she almost sat back down, but I gave her a thumbs up. She smiled and shared a beautiful idea for a campaign about kindness, and everyone clapped. I saw her eyes light up, and I knew this is how you lead, not by fear, but by lifting others.
They gave me a mic, a stage, a spotlight. I looked at the crowd, hundreds of people, and I told them my story. I told them how someone deleted my work, how they called it garbage, how I almost gave up, and how, when I least expected it, my light was seen. The crowd clapped. Some even stood up. And I ended with this. Don't be afraid to build in silence, because when your time comes, you won't just rise. You'll shine so bright, they'll wish they never dimmed your fire. As I walked off the stage, my phone buzzed. A message from the CEO. Zoe, our campaign just hit 50 million views. And you've changed the way we do business forever. Thank you. I smiled and put my phone away. Then I looked up at the sky. Bright, clear, warm, just like the light inside me. And I whispered, you don't delete people like me. We don't just bounce back. We take everything. Did you enjoy this story? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to tell me where you're watching from.